Hello, everyone. So I'm running a little bit later today, but I really wanted to speak to how to, in 5 steps, improve your physical, emotional, and mental health. Now, I know it sounds like a lot, but there's going to be some work involved. And so, if you want to see improvements, you can't use yesterday's solutions for today's problems, especially if they were the same problems. So, here's some ideas for you that I think I've definitely found work well with patients. Let me get my notes here. So, first of all, step one, you need to define your health goals, right? So, you want to take time to reflect on certain aspects of your emotional, mental, and physical health you want to improve. So, I'm not saying you need to do all of them at once, but let's just write out a plan of those 3 areas, being very specific, and just take time to sit and reflect on what's really important to you. You want to write them down using the SMART goals, right? They're specific and measurable. Maybe it's reducing stress, improving relationships, establishing a regular exercise routine, or maybe even adopting a healthy plant based diet. But you really want to make these goals as personal and relevant to your life as possible. Because when you do that, you're more likely to do it when it's hard, right? And that's the thing. So many people get blown out of the water when they hit an obstacle. So, one thing to think about as we're moving forward and we're planning and how we're going to actually achieve our goal is planning for the obstacles. And when you do that, then you're prepared and you don't get stressed and you're less anxious. But we'll get to that in a minute. Step two, you want to link your goals to personal values and your motivations. The values are really here are the key piece. So consider why each aspect of the well-being one is important to you. For example, ask yourself why physical fitness matters to you personally, right? Is it to have more energy? Is it to feel better in just daily living and existing, reduce your risk of disease? When you write these down, these motivations or these values, they help reinforce your commitment to the goals. So another way to do this is asking 5 whys. Let's say someone says, I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? I want to lose weight so I can wear smaller clothes. Okay. Why do you want to wear smaller clothes? I want to wear smaller clothes so I feel more confident. Okay. Why do you want to feel more confident? I want to feel more confident so I can go do the things that I feel afraid to do now. Okay. Why do you want to do those things that you're afraid to do now? Because I want to be a great model to my children. So, do you see now we went from I want to lose weight to I want to be a good model to my children. And as you start getting down closer, you get a little bit more emotional. There might be even some tears flowing. And that's a good sign in the sense that that's your value. That's what you're finding so important that you're willing to do the hard work. And everybody does things that are hard. Don't ever don't ever doubt yourself that you can't do a hard thing because you absolutely can do hard things. I've seen people do amazing things. If you ever had a baby and raised it past 1 month without losing your mind, absolutely, you've done hard things, right? You go through high school, you go through college, you get married, you travel independently. There's so many things. All of these things can be hard. So you absolutely can do hard things. Your future self says, thank you, by the way. All right, moving on. So, step 3, develop a comprehensive wellness plan. So, what does that mean? Well, you want to create a detailed plan for achieving your goal. All right, so this should include scheduling on your calendar, regular workouts, right? Planning healthy meals, scheduling time on the calendar to actually make the healthy meals, what those meals will be, setting aside time for relaxation and meditation, maybe seeking resources like books, apps, local classes, maybe a hiking group if you're hiking or something. All of that should support your journey. So if you feel like there might be a weak spot in your ecosystem that you tend to trip up in or fall over and really struggle with, figure out a way to either patch it up with some new resources or travel around it, somehow look for something that'll help remove that obstacle for you. All right. And the next step 4, embrace uncertainty and cultivate curiosity. And this one I think is really important because this is going to help deal with all the mind stuff goes on that we really struggle with. So I think, my friend Dr. Jeb Brewer, he says curiosity is your superpower. And I truly believe that. If any of you have ever had a small child and they ask multiple questions. I had 3 children, and there was one in the middle, Jonathan. I don't know how many questions that kid could ask. I didn't know his mouth could move so fast. But kids are so curious, and they're growing, and they're exploring. Take on that, not the annoying questions all the time, but just that kind of joy of, asking questions and then going and searching and finding the answers. Because when you actually do that, you do get a dopamine hit. So you get some reward just out of the curiosity factor. And embracing uncertainty, I think, is really important. It's coming from Ellen Langer's work that I've been diving into. And she said yesterday she'd she'd be on the podcast. I'm super excited for you guys to see that. But she has a book called Mindfulness and also another one called Mindful Body. And she has several other books, but those 2 in particular are relevant here. In one of her core beliefs or principles, whatever you'd like to call that, is the only certain thing besides death is uncertainty. So we can look at, for example, research studies, right? How many times have you seen a research study, especially in nutritional science, say, this is it, this is what we need to do? And 10 years later, completely backwards. It was not what we thought. A great example of this would be the Women's Health Initiative study that ended in 2002, I believe. And now we looked at how that study was actually reported, and there's been a lot of poor reporting that came out of that study. And now we're changing how we practice medicine because we've done a reevaluation of that study around menopause. So that's one thing. So when you embrace uncertainty, it also allows you to be less stressed and less anxious. So, and also I think it makes for a growth mindset, makes you more open to the possibility of others' opinions, of looking at something differently when we've held on to a belief about anything. It could be, oh my heavens, it could be anything. It could be about a person. It could be about a story. It could be about a conflict. It could be anything. When you have a very specific belief, it's like looking through a keyhole, right? You see what's in front of you, but you can't see what's around you. So I would like to encourage you to open the door and look at the whole picture versus making a decision based on just the keyhole. And then when you have as much information as you can gather, then you're more likely to make a decision that's right for you or more accurate or the best decision for that particular circumstance. I'm down a little bit of a tangent there, but I just wanted to kind of encourage you to embrace new things, right? So trying these new activities, if you're wanting to get stronger and you haven't done, let's say, a fitness class, maybe you consider a fitness class. If you haven't done resistance training, maybe you try resistance training. Maybe you hire a personal trainer. Don't be afraid to embrace these new activities. So maybe, experiment with different types of exercises or different healthy recipes, maybe different mindfulness techniques. But then the important thing here is observe, how that impacts your mood, your energy levels, and overall health. And then that exploration will allow you, one, to see a bigger landscape of the opportunities to improve your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. And then finally, I'd like to encourage you to track your progress and foster community support. So keeping a journal, and I mean a written journal, is so much more powerful than something digital. But if you have to do digital, that's fine. But there's something about the writing that you can see. And then when you look back and you're flipping pages, it just makes it more real for you, right? It's not as easy to dismiss, right? When you see something that you've written. But in the journal, what I'd encourage you to do is to note any changes you might be feeling physically and emotionally, right? And then as far as your community support, join online forums, local clubs, or other groups, meetups, that you can share your experiences from each other. I had a wonderful encounter with a patient earlier today that she actually joined or is going to be joining. She went to a meetup for one type of club that had nothing to do with anything she's ever done before. And she goes, you know what? I just really like these people. We have so much in common, even though they don't eat necessarily, it's not a plant-based club, but I'm really going to pursue them because I think I can make some new friends and some new connections. So she's understanding the value of social connection, right? And it just enriches your life when you have more people. And I mean, not more and more people, but good, solid relationships that you're in putting time and effort into each other because you each will benefit, you grow. It's symbiotic, right? So the other thing I'd like to encourage you to do is join our Facebook group. It's our private free Facebook group. So just look for Dr. Lori Marbus Facebook group. We have almost 1,300 members in there now. It's awesome. This live is in there daily. We have other people sharing questions and all sorts of cool stuff. So, and finally, if you're really looking to get started and need some help, we have the Healing Kitchen. All the information can be found on drmarbus.com. And we'll be opening up my next glucose mastermind on December 12th. So look for after Thanksgiving. The landing page will be live and you can sign up. I will only take a very limited number. So if you're serious about, you want a CGM, I prescribe the CGM to everybody in the group and we meet twice a month for 3 months. And yeah, if you're ready to really rock your world and make things healthier, there's nothing like having a little objective data being injected at you every day. Literally, it's just saying, hey, this is what's going on. And then we meet and we talk about all the different patterns and I teach you some stuff and then we talk and share. It's a lot of fun. So there's that. So Healing Kitchen, the Glucose Masterminds, and of course, I'm always available as well to see patients independently. As a physician, I'm licensed in all 50 states. So which reminds me, I've got to go hop off and do my glucose mastermind for this evening. So you guys, I hope you found that was helpful. Just a really quick recap. Define your holistic health goals, right? That because holistic meaning physical, mental, emotional. 2, link your goals to your personal values and motivations. 3, develop a comprehensive wellness plan. 4, embrace uncertainty and cultivate curiosity. Let the little child out. And 5, track your progress and then foster your community support. Fill in those holes that you've noticed that are struggling with, at least with connections and family and friends or whomever that might need to be for you. So anyway, I hope that's helpful and love to hear more things that you'd like me to speak about. I listen to things or hear something and my brain starts going and then I feel like I need to share it. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for spending time with me. As always, I know you can be doing other things and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.